Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Dark Souls 3 walkthrough, guide, item collection, NPC, quest, whatever you'd like to call it. We're going to continue where we left off from the Cemetery of Ash to the High Wall of Lothric, the first actual area in the game. Now, there's going to be parts of this that are going to feel long and tedious, because we are going to do everything that we can do, which includes cheesing a dragon. And the cheesing the dragon part is probably going to take a little bit of time, but I think it'll be worth it. Go down the steps, our first bonfire, and then on top of that, right through here, we'll want to go this way first. Kill that guy. Come down here. Dogs, easy enough to just block and then kill by attacking. Second dog, much the same way. Good, at least. First Halberd hollow, one of the two larger hollows. It's easy enough to just block him, get behind him, and backstab him. You can also parry him if you want. I typically follow most backstabs up with a charged heavy swing attack, but he'll go down easily enough. Up the stairs here, there'll be one archer, and the one behind him is the main reason why we have Fireball. This is a Pussed Man. They're very weak to fire. Fire will stagger them occasionally, not every single fireball will. You're going to want to try and keep your distance. If you don't have Fireball, Fire Bombs work just as well. They'll hit a little less hard, but it's worth letting him transform, killing him, as every single time you kill one for the first time, it will drop Titanite and an Ember. Now the reason why we went up there was to collect the longbow, which is why we leveled to 14 dex. Use that because we're going to need the bow to cheese the dragon. Come down here. We'll have the Great Axe Hollow to deal with. Getting a little greedy there. Letting my stamina run out. He's going to punish me for that one of these days. Now if we collect that soul packet and move back up, we can officially move on to the actual main part of the wall. The actual layout of the wall, the High Wall of Lothric, is just a giant circle that we have to go all the way around in order to get to the end of it. Probably eventually get a better shield. Now, there's going to be a guy with a lantern walking up the stairs here. We're going to want to run, heavy attack, jump attack, stop him from screaming. If he screams, he will call for reinforcements, and things like that we just don't want to deal with. Kill him, come back around. This guy would have been one of the reinforcements I should say. There'll be another screaming hollow right here, same thing. Running jumping attack, kills him before he gets a chance to scream. Shield up around the corner. This guy will come down and ambush you. Kill him. Kill that guy. Don't need to, but I always choose to. I think he would come up if you went up and grabbed the binoculars without killing him. They like to leave a bunch of enemies laying about that will come after you if you do things out of order. Come down here, grab the golden pine resin, which we will use to help speed along our Vort. First boss of this, or the first boss of this area. 2 more fire bombs. This guy will always try to attack before you can get to him. It's easy enough just to take him out. Now if you look through here, you'll see a whole bunch of items and a couple hollows. We'll deal with them in a minute. Can then drop down, or take the ladder, either or. Grab that soul packet, can run up. This guy always likes to give me some trouble. Get behind him. Take out the archer. Now there's a whole bunch of them walking down. We don't need to deal with them. All we have to do is run up here. Dragon will show up. He'll light the whole place on fire. Everything up there will take a lot of damage. You might have to take care of a straggler here and there. And now that the dragon's active, we can try and run down here. He could blow fire down here, and then the rest of these guys. Now we have the option to, if we wanted to just run through this section. But that's not what we're going to do. We're going to use this opportunity to cheese the dragon. You're going to want to be probably no higher than this. You're going to want to aim where this tower is. You want to aim above the tower. And then this is the reason why we bought 99 arrows. A little bit higher. If you aim in the right spot, every single arrow should hit. Now, this may seem like it's time consuming, and it absolutely is. But what we can do is, you don't have to actually do anything for this part. You literally just sit here and shoot the dragon with an arrow, bow and arrow. And if you can come back later if you really, really wanted to, maybe with some better arrows. After you get Grey Rat. Because Grey Rat sells standard arrows instead of the wood arrows. They're slightly better. I mean, this isn't even technically a necessary part of the necessary step. However, actually getting this dragon down to about a third of its HP is going to be a useful bit of things to do while we're here. A, it'll allow us to completely and utterly safely grab all of the items that were on the other side of that grate there. One of which is Claymore, which is an item that, like a weapon that it tends to be on like a lot of lists for like best PvE and PvP weapons because it's an all-around solid pick for a weapon. It has it's got some decent range. Its moveset is it's very just straightforward. It's very useful. That being said, however, I'm going to go ahead and state right now that as it stands, what I can recommend you do is find a weapon you enjoy. Find a weapon you like using. It doesn't need to be the fastest weapon. It doesn't need to be the strongest weapon. Like, you don't need to go online and look up like the top 5 weapons in Dark Souls 3. Like always use that weapon. There's going to be some suggestions on there that are going to be very good, or like very popularly used items and weapons and whatnot. But you don't have to use that particular weapon. Personally speaking, I probably will end up using a sword that we get later on in the High Wall of Lothric, and I'll probably use that till near the end of the game. Might swap it out occasionally for other things, but, I won't need to for the most part. Now, once you get this dragon to about this much health, a little bit more, he will fly away. It's roughly around this point. You get him pretty low. On top of that, he'll give you a large Titanite Chart, which will be our second one to get a +4 weapon. But now that all the hollows are dead, and the dragon's gone, we can run up here and safely grab all of our items, including the Claymore, which I can't use. I need 16 strength. Get around to it eventually, maybe. Now, we can open this door, which will be very useful, because the dragon will never be there, so we can go around. This chest down here, actually a mimic. You can always tell by the way the chain is facing. If it is facing towards the front of the chest, it's a mimic. If it's facing towards the back of the chest, it's not a mimic. You can also see, if you look closely, the chest is moving. It's like breathing. If you ever see a chest like that, don't open it. It will eat you. It'll cause a lot of damage. Probably kill you. But we're just going to skip past the mimic for now. We'll come back to him in a bit. Come out here. This guy will stand up. And you'll come across your first Lothric Knight. Lothric Knights are heavily armored foes. They hit pretty hard. They're pretty aggressive. They will actually do a lot of damage if you let them. What I recommend doing is seeing if you can fish for a backstab. Go pretty aggressive. It doesn't always work clearly. Their weapon art is pretty aggressive, hits pretty hard. Let's just put it that way. Now, seeing as we've done everything up to that point, we can actually just run past everything, because I don't want more things following me. That's unfortunate. No, don't do it. Okay. Since I don't want everything following me, I'm just going to run past it all. Because I've got a nice chunk of souls sitting on the ground over there, and I would like them back. Now, the problem with getting rid of the dragon is all these guys hang out here now, and they won't be killed. However, you can just bypass them by making that jump, unlike me, or climbing the ladder. So I believe most of them typically don't climb the ladder. Come up here, get this guy again. If they do climb the ladder, which they apparently will, that's really unfortunate. I wonder if only some of... No, a lot of them go on the ladder. That's good to know, I guess. No, we only got the two. Okay. Oh, hi. Okay. Alright. So what I typically do when it comes to Lothric Knights is block... Or try and... Ah, no. Not again. They have a typical attack, which is that, and then a second swing, which you can then parry if you actually time it. And then you can get behind them. Come on, you're making me look bad. This is unfortunate. This is a travesty. Oh, it works, I suppose. Suppose I could also just do this. Oh well. Now that I've looked terrible in front of probably like 2 people, I can move on with my life. Coming in here, we'll have one of the thief hollows. They'll try and backstab you, and if they are out of range, they will throw things at you, which is not what you want. We can sneak out here, grab the fire bombs, turn around, come back up here. And here is the second bonfire of Highland. And from the second bonfire, which I'm going to rest at because I'm out of Estus, we can creep over here and grab another Titanite shard. Moving over here, back down the way we came, we can actually just drop down there, deal with the first thief hollow. There's another one over here in the corner, and if I don't get myself murdered again, we will be coming back here after we grab an item. Over here for a soul of the desecrated corpse, and then quickly run up here. There's a guy hanging on the ledge here. Knock him off. It's just much easier to deal with him that way. Kill the hollow. That will look... It'll sometimes climb up this ladder. It'll sometimes just sit at the bottom. Who knows what it does. It does whatever it really, really wants. Come up here, grab the more fire bombs. And then the second busted man in the area. We're going to deal with him in a moment. Take care of the lizard, get a raw gem from it. Another soul packet. Now it's time to deal with our sludgy friend. Like I said, fire bombs will work. If you don't have Fireball, another option you could do is go back to the ladder that we dropped down and shoot him with arrows. That is another way you can achieve the second Parkwood Man. Grab his Ember. Oh, you dropped an extra Ember. Cool. So I got 2 Embers and a Titanite Chart from that. Now you can either climb down the ladder or you can drop from the roof. Down here. Either or, it doesn't really matter. Black Fire Bombs, another item that we can give to the crows, because they will provide us with a Titanite chunk. I'm gonna run up here, hit him off, kill that guy, and that one. Grab the Fire Bombs. He typically survives that fall. Yeah, he's down there. We could wait for him, or we can just ignore him. He's not all that important right now. In the corner, attack him, dodge the arrow. Up here, kill this guy. Right around the corner again, kill the other 2 follow. There's occasionally a guy hanging on the ledge here. I think when you knock the guy off the ledge over there, it will occasionally hit him and knock him down. But I'm not 100% certain on that. Actually, it looks like there's an item over there. Never been over there. I'll have to look into that. Come down here. Break the pots, kill the guy behind the pots, and grab the 2 Undead Hunter Charms. Now, this is another Lothric Knight. This one has a great shield and a spear. You'll deal with him the same way you deal with all the other ones. Problem is that his great shield makes him a little bit more annoying to deal with. You can break his guard by kicking his shield if he likes to keep his shield up, which is what he'll do a lot of the time. But Lothric Knights in general are just a pain, and you'll get used to them. They'll come back here eventually at some point in time in the game, and they won't even be a challenge. You'll have upgraded weapons, and you'll just destroy them. It's quite comical. Now, we are going to drop over here. Guy on the left. And here is a broadsword. Pretty much the only weapon you'll more than likely be using if you end up doing a soul level 1 run through. Here is actually a good place for us to have the fire bombs, because if you can angle it right, there's black powder barrels all over this room, and if you can actually hit them when the enemies are near them, they'll explode and do a massive amount of damage to them. I think that's close enough. No, it's not. But that'll make things easier when we go back through, or go through after we come over here. Kill that hollow. Grab the Silver Eagle Kite Shield, which is the first real, 100% physical block shield. Although it doesn't allow for parrying, it has a weapon skill as its shield ability, which I haven't even used the weapon skill on this axe this entire time. Don't really feel like it's necessary. Big hollows like to do damage. That was a little bit closer than I would like it to be. Both those hollows should be near dead. Come in here, grab another Titanite shard, and then we are going to just kind of finish off our last 2 big enemies here, and be rewarded with our Estus shard, and then from the dog down here, you can grab the cell key. Cell key is important for various reasons, but it's to get one of the better merchants in the game. But before we go back there and grab that, we're going to take this other passage, because over here there is a green blossom, or not blossom, it is a blossom. I'm thinking the blossoming herbs. And in this nice shaded chest is the Astora Straight Sword. First, really quite potent sword to use in the beginning of the game. It does require 12 faith to use it. It does have more overall damage than our axe. Yeah, because our axe has 110 plus 14. The Astora Straight Sword has 129 plus 9. It also has pretty solid scaling. And this is actually probably what I'm going to use for a majority of the game. Now we can drop back down and head back to Grey Rat. And also see if there was that item that looks like it was there that I've never actually seen before. Could just be the glow of the level, but it also looked like there was a way to get down to it, so I rightfully don't know. I might be learning something. Oh yeah, no, never mind, that's not... Alright, no, I'm stupid. Never mind, that's not an item. That's actually where we're going. Cool. I don't even have to worry about it. So now, there's two ways we can do this. We can either climb down this ladder, drop down that hole, or that hole. For the sake of the argument, we're going to climb down this ladder. There will be a halberd hollow down here, which we get to try our new sword on. Straight swords are just broken in this game. They're very fast, they hit fairly hard for what they are, how quickly they swing. They do a lot of damage. We're going to want to run up and kill this guy, because all of these barrels, black powder barrels, they would have exploded if he had thrown a firebomb. Not a great time. Come over here, kill this guy, grab the mail breaker. And then finally, last but not least, down to where I thought we saw an item. But it's Grey Rat's cell. Talk to him, grant his request, he'll give you the blue tearstone ring, which is, quite frankly, probably the most useless ring in the game, in my opinion. Probably a lot of people's opinions. It grants you a damage boost, or a damage resistance boost, I should say. It increases how much damage you, or decreases how much damage you take for, by, like, I think it's like 20%, but you have to be under, like, 20% HP. I don't know exactly how much damage. It might be 50%, but point being is whenever you get to that point, you're going to already be low enough on HP to the point where it's not going to matter. Alright, continuing. Oh, right, there's another step. Now we'll get back to it. We'll do it near the end. Now there's still this guy down here. We're just going to drop off and kill him. And the guy on the ledge here, and this guy here. This is the first real wall of the game. No pun intended. Excuse me. Okay. Now, this guy is a big old block of chunky metal. Really easy to get behind. Learn the timings on his attacks. He's not as intimidating as you think he is. Okay, if I don't botch this, you can get behind him and kill him pretty easily. He does do an AoE attack that's worthy of watching out of if he puts his arms out and starts kind of hovering above the ground. It makes, or he does this big AoE attack that calls down pillars of light, and they hurt a lot. And I take an immediate right, kill the crossbow hollow, and his friend that was waiting at the bottom of the stairs. We're going to run up, take another immediate right. Up here, we have another soul packet, and we can jump. to a very useful item, Ring of Sacrifice. The Ring of Sacrifice, when you die, it will prevent you from losing all of your souls. So you won't drop them on the ground, you'll keep them. But it'll break in the process. So what I typically use it for is if I know I'm going to die or I'm kind of going on a one-way trip, I will use it to keep my souls if I have a substantial amount. Or you can actually use it on your way back to your souls, because if you die when the Ring of Sacrifice is equipped, when you have your souls on the ground, it'll actually prevent your soul pile from disappearing. Now at the top of this elevator there's a closed gate, and if we open it, that's actually to the right of the first bonfire where we went initially. There's the the giant two-handed great axe hollow up there, but we can just ignore him. I'm gonna send this back up because it'll be used. If we have any issues down here and dying, we can actually get all of take that shortcut all the way back to the start of the ring. Now for this particular part, I'm actually going to use an ember, because if we use an ember, we can actually get a summon here, and the summon is not particularly useful, but he helps as a distraction because there are 4 Lothric knights up here, one of which is a red-eye knight, and that's not what I want to deal with. So we're going to summon Lionite Albert here. He's going to help us thin the numbers. Now, I will start by saying Lionite Albert is a little slow. And I don't mean that as in, like, he doesn't move quickly. I mean as in, like, I don't know what's wrong with his AI. Like, if his AI doesn't work the way it should. Like, it's like, he thinks enemies are where they were, but not where they are at. Like, he'll attack an enemy that doesn't exist anymore, and like roll away from enemies and block from enemies. Like, he's clearly still targeting that knight, and the knight has been dead. We're gonna come up here. We're gonna fight this one. Hopefully not die to it. I don't have any more Estus. It'd be actually super cool if he dropped one. Oh no. Alright, we're gonna let Albert take the heat on that. I don't have any magic either. Man, I'm just unprepared. He dropped a Lothric Knight shield. A very useful shield. I do not have the stats required to use it. It requires 18 strength to use it. But the Lothric Knight shield is a solid shield. The Lothric Knight sword is actually probably one of the better straight swords in the game. We can actually use it to our advantage quite well. But we need 18 dex for it. Now, you can talk to her, and she'll give you a small banner and the Way of the Blue Covenant. And the Way of the Blue Covenant is useful online, because if you get invaded and somebody else is wearing the blue sentinels, they will actually be summoned to your game to help you defeat the invaders. Notice, though, that when we killed her, Lionite Albert goes home, because he's loyal to her and the actual people that she represents. Up here is that blue-colored red-eyed knight. We're just gonna get his attention, and we're gonna cheese him really, really easily. Now, you don't need to use the straight sword for this, but it makes it so much easier. When he runs up to the door, he's gonna put a shield up. Then you can use the weapon art plus R1, or right bumper if you're using an Xbox controller, to break his guard instantly, and then wait for him to do it again, and then run up and stab him again. And we're gonna backpedal. Gonna let him do it again. And because every single time that I get greedy with this game, it punishes me horrendously, so we're just going to let him do it one more time. Stab him for the last time. Cool. He's dead. He'll almost always drop a refined gem. And he actually dropped us some trousers too, which I will gladly use because they are quite a bit better. And the Pyromancer starts with some pretty low gear. Now down at the bottom of the steps there is our first boss, but we're going to do one thing beforehand. Instead of running the entire way there, actually, we're just going to use a homeward bone. Now, if you recall, we had a score to settle with a Mimic. And we actually have an item that's going to not only A, make him easier, but B, grant us more chance at getting a very useful item called the Symbol of Avarice. You know what the Symbol of Avarice does is a very useful thing where it just increases the amount of souls you get and the drop rate of items, but it has a downside of causing you to take some extra damage over time while wearing it. So it's not something you want to like throw on and then just kind of go AFK wearing. You will die, you will probably die again, and lose all your souls. It's actually happened to me. But this is why we waited for the Undead Hunter Charms. You can throw one at him. Excuse me. He'll open up, and when his teeth curl back, you can then just loot the item that he had. So now he didn't have the Symbol of Avarice, so I'm going to two-hand power attack. He's going to yawn. And then he's going to curl back up. And then we're going to throw another Undead Hunter Charm at him. Because this will give us another chance at getting the Symbol of Avarice. And he didn't drop it. So we're going to do another two-hand power attack. Now we haven't even started fighting the Mimic yet, and he's already at like a third of his HP gone. So we're going to start this encounter again. Now Mimics, pretty much what I do is roll out of like every single attack. You don't have to, but their grab hurts and will more than likely kill you. So do what we like to call his booty souls, and that's just stay on his ass. It'll prevent him from doing a lot of things, mainly getting a hold of yours. Now, on the off chance that we die to the first boss, which isn't likely, but then again I also did fall off the rafters in the last one, we are going to quickly jet back to Firelink Shrine and spend our 10,000 souls. Courtesy a large portion of that from the Silver Serpent Ring. We're just gonna get some more points in Vigor. Let's go 16, 15. Let's go 10 Vitality. Not really necessary, but kind of nice to have. Now, since we have the Astora Straight Sword, and this is going to be the sword that I'm going to use for a large portion of this run, we also have an Estus Shard, so we can actually increase our Estus now to 4 and 2. We're going to spend some souls, and we're going to actually increase the Astora Straight Sword to +2, increasing his damage by a nice solid chunk. And if we wanted to, we could infuse it. A refined gem is not going to do a damn thing for us right now. Really. Well, kind of, maybe. 166 damage total, going to 159. Yeah, not worth it. A raw gem, though, is actually fairly worth it with a lot of these, because raw gem's going to make it 172 damage, which is better than the 166, and we don't have a fire gem. So for now, we're gonna make it a raw Astora Straight Sword. It's gonna increase its overall damage, but remove its scaling. It'll become more useful later. to not have it be raw, but with our current stats, raw is going to be a better idea. Grey Rat's going to be hanging out down here. You can actually buy things from him. And seeing as I don't have a whole lot of souls left, I'm actually just going to buy as many standard arrows as I can from him.
Goodbye.
Because it means we'll have more arrows to use with the bow. Because if you think we're done cheesing shit with the bow, you have a ways to go. And finally, there's an NPC up here called Leonhard. He will give you some cracked red eye orbs, and he actually that's intended for you to use them, invade other people's games, and then kill them to get pale tongues to advance the storyline. But you don't even have to do that. We're gonna actually go to High Wall this time because of that shortcut we unlocked. We'll get pale tongues later as just random items. Come over here. Oh, look at that beautiful damage. So nice to have this early in the game. If you really want, I recommend, if you really want like the Lothric Knight armor, or like the Lothric shield, or the Lothric spear, the Great Shield, whatever you want to use, you can actually farm them after we kill the first boss, or the first of the bosses of this area called Vort. You definitely don't need to farm them, but they are a pretty solid armor set to get started off with in the game. It will also drop Titanite shards and embers. Kind of useful, but definitely not necessary. If you're playing online with some friends and you just want to practice some more against the Lothric Knights, you can just keep fighting them. You definitely don't need to though. But we're gonna take a quick hop down. Now if you are having trouble with the Vort and you want someone to summon, and you manage to kill the Master Swordsman, his summon sign will be right outside the Vort door here. You can summon him if you really want. I'm not going to, but he is here as an available summon for this fight. And if you didn't kill the lady in there and instead just talk to her, Lionite Albert would also be a summon here. We're going to make this go a lot faster though, because we're going to actually use the gold pine resin. Run up to this door here, and it'll trigger the boss scene where Vort comes in. We're going to use this. Phase 1 Vort is pretty straightforward, very kind of slow. The mantra of booty souls is very true here. You want to stick to his butt as much as possible. Just kind of roll out of the way of his attacks. Having the lightning resin on the weapon will make you do a lot more damage. Now this is where phase 2 starts. He's going to typically start it out by charging, which you want to avoid. For the second charge, roll with him on the third charge, and then he'll start a breath attack. 99% of the time. It's not guaranteed, I found that out. And then, you can punish him. And there it is, Vort done. You want to kill him as soon as he gets to phase 2, as quickly as possible though, because his phase 2, hurts a lot. He has moves that will make his entire body a hitbox, and you just don't want to be a part of that. It hurts. You feel like you'll get cheap shotted a lot, but if you come out here, you can use the banner that you either got from or killed for, and this will summon some of the good old mascots from Demon Souls in regards to carrying you to places. These weird brain-headed demons, messenger demons is I believe what they're called, and they will just carry you to the next area. The Undead Settlement. Now, to finish up this video, we're going to travel to Firelink and spend the last chunk of our souls. If you want to transpose boss items, and you don't want to use the Soul of Boreal Valley for it. You're going to want to hold on to that. But you can also sell all of the soul packets instead of using them for the exact amount that you'd actually be getting what you need for. So we're just going to sell all the soul packets, we're going to hold on to Vorts, and then we're going to go see what we can get for levels. Looks like we can get a couple. So I'm going to get another point in intelligence, another point in faith, and then call it good. And that will conclude the High Wall of Lothric segment of this guide. The next section we will be continuing with the Undead Settlement. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next one.